Hey everyone. It is the first day of winter, so I thought it'd be a really good day to try this again. I've done several recordings now. My name is Heather, and I have DID, dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. That name was changed because it was inaccurate. I lived most of my life having no idea that I had DID. I had even talked to other people with DID and never recognized it in myself. I didn't even know that I was missing time until it was pointed out to me and I realized that I can't remember most of my life. I'm 37 years old and I found out 5 years ago when I was 32 years old. For most of that 5 years, I have been in denial and struggling, self-doubting, dealing with the memories that have been coming up and trying to tell myself that it wasn't real. This year, I've done a lot of work with my therapist, who is amazing and wonderful, and I have finally been forced to face the fact that this is real and it's not going anywhere, and this is just my life now. Now, you may ask, how could you not know that you had DID? When you're a part of a system, one of the system goals is to not get caught, not be found out, because they exist to help keep you out of danger, and being caught inherently puts you in danger. When I am fronting, it feels like I have always been here. But then when I think about my past, I can't remember a large portion of it. It is extremely hard to wrap my head around. Lunch break? I often forget to eat. It's a bit like in Harry Potter. We find out that witches and wizards can cast spells to keep muggles away simply by making them think they had something else to do when they get too close to the border. DID memory can often be very similar for me. Not only that, but a history of trauma keeps you in the moment. When you're in fight or flight 24/7, you honestly aren't really thinking about the past or the future. You are concerned about the here and now and survival. Now, I don't know everything about DID. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about DID. In general, other people's DID, or even my DID, it is so complicated, and therapy and EMDR and recovered memories only give us a fraction of what's really going on in the inner world or what really happened to us. So when I talk about this or I describe things, I'm only trying to give an account as best as I can of my own experiences and my own experiences only. And they will be different from the experiences of other systems. We are all unique. We also have a lot of chronic illnesses, which is really common with DID because trauma causes inflammation and inflammation causes damage. I have several autoimmune conditions. I'm also diagnosed with ADHD and autism, which again is very common in systems. What was I going to say? So, what's our inner world like? We've mostly only interacted with one part of the inner world so far, and we call it the compound. It is a ranch-style home that is kind of sprawling and large, and a yard surrounded by a large stone wall. Nobody can go outside of the wall. nobody does go outside of the wall. Recently, we've learned that there is more outside of the wall. Those in the compound seem to mostly be people who front more often. We don't have a lot of trauma holders in the compound. We started out with only 4 people in the compound. That number has grown to about 12 now, I think. And the number of people we know that have names outside of the compound is around 100. Before we found out that we had DID, we were diagnosed with bipolar. One psychiatrist thought that we had borderline personality disorder just because we had a history of trauma. Our current therapist disagreed with that, and we got diagnosed with major depression and ADHD because DID, when it's covert, can look like a lot of other things. So even though my therapist didn't think that I had bipolar, I still heard voices. Voices that I had heard, honestly, since I was a child. When I was a kid, I thought that I could hear ghosts. Hi, Abby. What else? From the outside, you wouldn't know that we were a system. I am married. I have a teenage child, and we have friends, and we hang out sometimes, and like it's all really normal stuff, other than the fact that we're all weird and we all love that we're all weird. And the system doesn't want to be found out. But one thing that happens once it is found out is often there is a flood of people coming to the front and symptoms and switching and voices yelling at you. And there's so much new information so fast. And it leads to a lot of self-doubt because how could you have not known all of this? And suddenly you have this information and it seems so unreal. We are open to questions as long as it is respectful and obviously not hateful or trolling. We are queer, non-binary, gender fluid, polyamorous, disabled, and chronically ill. As of today, we've been married for 19 years. Post any questions you have in the comments, and we will do our best to get to all of them, again, as long as they are not trolly or hate-filled or anything like that. I hope you have a beautiful, amazing, wonderful day. I hope you find a reason to smile. And happy Yule!